Okay. Okay. Today we have some a bit very controversial topics. So let's start with the first questions. Question: Women should have the rights as men in all areas of life. Um, to a certain extent, I agree with this statement. Especially, and to be specific, in I mean pretty much most area, like welfare and job opportunities, stuff like that. However, I do have to say that there is one kind of niche area that uh, I believe there should be certain consideration, which is things relate to like a kind of physical labor in especially sport, because I mean when you look at women's sport league like basketball or boxing or MMA, for example, they don't perform as well as men. Well, a majority of them uh, don't have the same level of performance as men, and so generally the competition and in general feels a lot more uninteresting than men. So that's one thing to consider. I mean, uh, when you look at like especially basketball. Women basketball league, for example, they don't sell as good as men, uh, partially because women basketball is not as famous as men, but also their performance is also they are more in competence when you compare to like men basketball. However, in other aspects, especially regarding intelligence and mental relate areas, like chess, for example, it is reasonable for like men and women to compete in the same thing, and the same thing can be said for more job opportunities, as I said, especially white collar occupations. So there's that. The gap between rich and poor is getting wider, and it's unfortunately, I would have to agree with this statement. There are various factors that can be associated with this matter. First of all, is the ideology, is what that's called, and the kind of societal structure of most country. So right now, most nations, big or small, regardless, in the world is uh, capitalism, right? And because of the nature of the capitalism, I feel like the rich people will, always stay rich, and the poor people have very little chance to climb the career ladder and climb the hierarchy of the society. Partially because their lack of financial assistance, the lack of they lack in financially, and also kind of lack in the necessary knowledge and skill to promote to higher stages. It's a bit outrageous and yes, a bit offending, to say the least. But I think it is a true, I think it is a true phenomenon that is happening in the world right now. So that's all I have to say. Really, I don't have much experience in this field. Celebrities have too much influence on society. I will again. It is a harsh but truthful statement. Nowadays, celebrities, is more or less like God. Instead of worshiping God, you are you are looking at a celebrity's life day in day out. I have seen some really desperate fan who want to like meet the idols, or it's just going uh banana when talking about their celebrity, their favorite singer or actors. I think this uh you know this the current state of the world can can be you know like I think it's derived from the fact that because of this social media has so much influence, has so much widespread influence in the world. Celebrities become the substitutes for religion, and uh, like something like celebrity endorsement, or I mean basically anything the famous peoples are doing is being watched by the public 24/7, and so people, not only that they have a kind of false illusion about a perfect life of celebrities, but also because of how the celebrity portray them to the public, it seems like perfect people who cannot do anything wrong, and so whatever the celebrity does, and whatever their statement, they kind of like whatever they say can effectively influence a large portion of people around the world. Simply as that. So yes, that people should be allowed to choose their own career path regardless of their gender. I only partially agree, because here's the thing, right? Uh, Choosing your career path is a very serious choice, and sometimes people might regret the path that they are treading on. So so let's say a female athlete, right? I know I'm constantly bringing up sports when talking to gender, but it's a truth that female competing in sport has less chance to being success and getting any substantial amount of money. So that's my point, right? I think that I mean I still agree because at the end of the day that's their choice, and I see that most occupations, most expertise nowadays is pretty like gender gray. Like both men and women can uh, do the job with the highest efficiency. However, there are some, like, as I say, niche kind of route that is more favor to one sex than another. So that's my point. Right. So environment topic. Right. Nuclear power is a safe and clean source of energy. Well, this statement is only true if we have we have advanced, very advanced and modern technology, but to this day it still proved to be a pretty false statement. While it is clean when you're talking about like emission, in it doesn't emit like fumes and toxic fumes and uh, leaving like a tons of carbon footprint, but it certainly isn't safe. I mean, there has been incidents in the past, and the most infamous is probably the Chernobyl incidents, where the nuclear cloud pretty much covered a majority of Europe, and that is a result of just two nuclear plants. So imagine if the all the nuclear plant in the world goes, you know, if like every nuclear uh, plant in the world malfunction, how devastating that would be, you know. So I would agree with this topic because, like I said, I think it is a very good energy and a lot more sustainable than like our current like fossil fuels. It certainly need a lot more improvement and upgrade before you can actually call them safe source of energy. People should be encouraged to use public transportation instead of cars. Um, I partially agree with it because it depends on uh, the circumstances, like their occupation or where they live, for example. So let's say in Vietnam, it would be very hard to for people to switch to like public transport. There are bus, but others means of public transportation like subway or train is kind of they're not as viable as say like cars or scooters. However, I would say for the most part it does make sense because not only that it can reduce traffic congestion, but also the our carbon footprint and limit the number of car collision accidents in general. However, to do that, to to encourage people to opt for public transportation, there also need to be improvement and change to this field for say like expanding the like subway system, for example, so that it can accommodate more people, or giving some kind of discount or gift for loyalty member, for loyal members, so they feels that so say feels a sense of reward when using the public transportation. So that's my take on these questions. Recycling is not effective in solving environmental problem. Uh, Honestly, I would have to agree with uh, this one, right? Because if you're asking me if recycling is the most effective, I would say so. So let's talk about in an individual's level, right? Recycling in paper may sounds like a great way to save money and also contribute to reducing climate change and environmental problem in general. However, it is it's not always rose and rainbows. So let's take for example a I don't have here, but let's say plastic con a plastic bottle, right? I have seen people like uh, reuse them, repurpose them into some kind of like a vertical plan. Like they cut off the part and make it a vertical plan, or using it as a kind of a pseudo personal water bottle. So there are some ways to use it like that. But however, the thing is that material like commercial plastic for like this kind of use usually will decay after a certain amount of time and can cause health problem, especially like uh, uh, how should I say respiratory problems for the user, because they are releasing microplastic and all sort of toxic chemicals. And also I just feels like people can't recycling forever. Eventually they will find themselves surrounded by reused bottle and box that is that can be dangerous to their health. On a industrial larger scale, it is a lot more effective, but honestly, recycling like that costs a lot of money, not only to transport these materials to the factories, but also the cost for technology, uh, technology, like chemicals and other process to purify the materials takes a lot of time, and it's put a strain to the in production line. It's makes it's labor intensive, and overall isn't doesn't really it's not an effective way. So yeah, that's kind of my take. I would kind of agree with that because, as I say, so to conclude what I have stated so far, while recycling it's a pretty good idea, and it certainly work in some area, like for example aluminium, right? People a lot of factories and a lot of countries are recycling aluminium because they are so crucial, and it's they are very crucial and sought after. So it does make sense for those kind of things, but overall it's not as effective as other solution, like making substitutes for commercial items, substitute material for commercial items, for example, which is a lot more effective. Uh, so there's that.